Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back with another installment with Thumb Fed Talk. We, folks, been talking about getting a guest on here, and by God, we got a guest. His name is Jamie Bucell, number 46, forward for the Port Huron Prowlers. Thank you, Jamie, for hopping on with us and talk about hockey.
Yeah, of course.
Other than that, tell the world about yourself, kind sir, for the people that don't know who you are.
Jamie Bucell, born and raised right outside of Cleveland, Ohio. Grew up Ohio State fan, obviously. But yeah, been playing hockey since I was 3 years old. So still have the luxury to be able to go after it still to this day. So
awesome to hear that. Now, I got some questions. All three of us got questions, but you said you started playing hockey when you were 3. Did you just one day decide to start playing hockey, or did your father motivated you along to play hockey, or how did that go, Jamie?
No, so actually, my dad wrestled. Pretty sure, him and his brothers and stuff were, kind of more on the wrestling side. But my oldest brother, Nick, pretty sure he just came home one day and told my mom and dad that he wants them to sign him up for hockey. And, they kind of took it as a little joke at first. And then, maybe, a week later or so, he asked if they had signed him up yet. And they were like, oh, you're serious? And he was like, yeah. So, and then they signed him up for hockey. And then below that, my brother Joe got into it, and then I followed suit.
Sweet. I mean, wrestling and hockey kind of center of gravity all plays effect and everything like that. So it does. I mean, wrestling career did help you along the way. Well, yeah. I mean, Justin, you got any questions up there? I can see your ears turning.
Yeah, I'll let Andy. Andy's itching to get his question out first. I do have questions for you, Jamie, but I want you to answer one of his good ones first.
I've got a few wrote down for you here, but of course, I have to go with the first one as far as jumping into all that and how you said that one day you jumped in with your brothers wanting to play and you followed suit after. Who were the most influential people in your hockey journey after you initially started and going on all the way up to the FPHL and SP where you've been?
Did we lose Buck?
Jamie? Oh, crap.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Uh-oh. Well, folks, we always elaborate. Put a man on the moon, you can't have good internet.
Hold on. I see his mic going on and off, so.
Give him a minute.
It's all right, because 10-minute misconduct had Alex Johnson's headset kept bouncing from his computer to his phone every time they asked him a question, so.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I just roll with it. I don't know, folks. Jamie Bucell.
That's the joy of being a small time, working our way up to the big time and starting this off in our journey as the podcasters and being a little bit of a voice from Port here in Deckerville, wherever else. I can't remember where you gentlemen are from.
Deckerville. We'll definitely. Do you want to send Buck another invite? Maybe he'll have to re-enter.
Yeah.
I thought it was on my end. Oh, yeah. Did you kick him?
No, something went off. I can't send him another invite. He has to remove himself. So I don't know if it timed down on him.
Did he remove himself?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It's all right. It's all right, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie is we forgive him. He's an Ohio State fan. It's okay.
Oh, wait, I know he's Ohio.
Like I said, folks, I'm gonna elaborate it again. Put a man on the moon. Oh.
Wait. Did we get bucked?
Oh, there he is.
Hey!
Like I was saying, Jamie, we could put a man on the moon, but we can't have good internet. Figure that out for a minute here. Can you hear us, Jamie?
Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, the assistant captain of the Port Huron Brawlers.
Assistant.
I did say assistant.
Maybe we should do a reboot on this whole thing and start from scratch.
Yep. Let's not post this at all.
We'll revamp this.
Yeah, let's start all over.
Yeah.
And everything. And
Hey, you send Buck the invite.
I don't have Buck. That's the thing.
No, I do, and Richard does. Let's start a new one. Send a new one.
Jamie's back.
Oh, Jamie's back?
Yeah.
Jamie's back. There's
You
Jamie.
good, Jamie?
We're back now. Now we
All
got
right, buddy. Hold on.
Where's Andy?
I gotta invite Andy back.
Dadgum.
Hey, send Andy the invite.
See, it's a learning experience for us, Jamie. But
Yeah, we're still trying. I told you it's gonna be a few minutes. We were working out bug. My computer had so much. The kids had so much on my computer that it was just not even running.
Oh, wow.
All right, so back to your question there, Andy.
Well, obviously you brought up that your brothers wanted to jump into the sport and you followed suit. Who were the most influential people in your hockey journey from the time you were little all the way up to now where you're playing now?
Yeah, I definitely have to say oldest brother Nick, who actually he ended up passing away. But he's definitely the most. He's the reason why we got into this. Besides him, obviously my parents. They spent a lot of time and money on us. Playing. It's not the most. It's not the cheapest sport around.
No.
Nope.
Other than that, family and close friends and stuff. And then honestly, just, everybody that's ever coached me and, all my teammates and stuff, they all played like a big factor. And, they're the reason why I'm here today, still going. So.
Yeah.
Nice, man. So my question is, I don't want to steal some questions from these guys because we had to make sure we didn't have the same questions for Jamie. But your time in the SP, what was that like compared to the FPHL?
It was good. So right when I was done with college, at the end of what was it, 21 now, I went to Macon, finished out the season with them. After then, re-signed with them over the summer. Ended up getting released after training camp. Went to Binghamton. And then, about a month and a half or so, I got a call from Huntsville and ended up going down there. But no, in Huntsville, it was great. They have great atmosphere, great fan base down there and stuff. And, they really take pride in their hockey down there in the South. But it was good. When I spent my time there and stuff, I'm not going to lie, looked at the Fed to be a little of a downgrade and stuff. But after spending time in the SP and stuff and then coming back to the Fed, to me, honestly, there's not really much of a difference. You see guys now, they're leaving the SP, they're leaving the coast and stuff to come down to play in the FPHL, which is amazing, So I think, it's more of a lateral movement now, between the FPHL and SPHL, but, competition's still there in both leagues and everything. So it's all good.
Now, you talk about SP and FPHL. in time in Binghamton, how do you compare your time in Binghamton to now in Port Huron? Is it same or is it same game playing style, or how does that work? I mean, if you don't want to go in detail about it, it's fine, but I mean, don't disclose information that you can't disclose. But
No. No, I mean, pretty similar and stuff. Binghamton was good and everything. My first stint in Binghamton, pretty good and stuff. I'd say maybe if anything, they got a couple high end skill guys. Like that's a majority of their roster and everything. Here, we take pride in being physical hockey group and everything. So that might be one of the big key differences there. Yeah.
So what you're saying is Port Huron and Bingo kind of have the same style?
Similar.
Yeah.
Andy's cracking up over there.
Sorry, Jamie, I had to put you on the spot on that because if you go back and look at our previous podcast, it's been quite a big talk about the Black Bears there, and you being a former Black Bear, So
Well, you see, I'll reiterate, like I've said before, you can't knock the program. They're good at what they do there.
They are.
No,
They
yeah. No, 100%. And like I said, I'll never have anything bad to say about them and stuff. It just didn't work out with me there. Brought me to Port Huron, and couldn't be happier being here though.
Yeah, you're home.
Yeah, you're here. You're stuck with us, buddy.
Hey, fine by me.
Open that door. I'm going to follow up with my next question there. What do you love the most about being a Prowler?
Oh,
Ooh, that's a tough one, No, honestly, everything. I like what being a Prowler stands for. I like all the baggage that comes with it and everything. And they always since I came here, it's always been a tight knit group. Everybody cares for everybody. Everybody's willing to do anything for everybody. So I think that that's what I love the most. Besides the fans, obviously.
Being here in Port Huron, I mean, I only been watching Port Huron since March of last year, so almost a year. And that's what I noticed. You guys are like a band of brothers. It's if someone's going to get checked or cross-checked and pushed around, someone's going to stand up for that person. And that's the thing.
I think that's this guy right here.
Yeah. That's the thing that I love is like you hit one of us, you're hitting all of us. And that's the style of hockey that we love. It's it's brothers. It's a brotherhood.
Yeah. No, definitely. Something happens, anybody is willing to step up at any time. And take care of business if it needs to be taken care of. But, everybody's got each other's backs here.
That's the thing. I love it. I just love seeing. I don't have any words to describe it. I think it's awesome to see everyone on the same page.
Well, Jamie, I want to put you on the spot, bud.
Oh,
this is going to be a tough one here. So, your line mates. Who's your line mates right now?
After Saturday's game, it was Reggie and LJ.
Okay, if you had to replace two of those with somebody else on the team, who would it be?
Oh, man. Replace two of them.
Yeah, hey, man, you got to go to this line. I want this guy on my line for a night or two.
Honestly, I'm not even going to say any names here. I think we have a group of guys here that could fill in any role and fill in any spot on any line. So, I don't have any specific names in mind. I think anybody could play with anybody. I could play with anybody, you just put guys together, it'll take a practice and they'll gel together right away and, everything will be good from there.
I like that answer.
Yeah, I thought Andy's the only one that sings the zingers, Justin, but that was a zinger, my guy.
I had to do it because, so I watched podcasts before, Jamie, and people have asked that question to other players, and Bingo was one of them. And they actually had where they said they prefer to play with a different teammate. So I mean,
But like how JB said, this is Prowler hockey where they're a band of brothers. So
Yeah.
you give them 5 minutes on the ice together, you're going to click off each other and know where each other is. Like that.
That's the thing. Like you guys you had a bye week, and okay, Friday night, yeah, everyone came back rusty. First period was done and over. Second period, everyone was clicking. Changes were happening. Okay, yeah, that pass wasn't crisp enough, but you know what? Boom, next play, perfect pass.
Come on, Richard, you got a question for him. I seen your notes.
I do, but this
Come
isn't
on.
my question. It was
We all want to know about the bus stories.
well, okay. Well, let me ask this question. And my wife asked this question. What is your game day ritual?
Oh,
My game day ritual. All right. I'm a pretty early riser. So let's say we have a team meeting at 9 a.m. On the ice for morning skate at 10. So I'm probably up at around 7 o'clock or so. Get up, get showered, obviously, brush your teeth. First stops for a morning coffee. Then I probably get to the rink about an hour before our meeting. Just get there, kind of relax, hang out. Federley's usually there. So me and him are just chatting and everything. Get changed into our gitch and everything, and probably tape up a stick, and then hang out until practice and stuff. Guys start filing in, and then after morning skate, always Chipotle. Chipotle is my pregame meal, so right after morning skate, get off, get showered and everything, and head over to Chipotle probably around say 11:30. Grab Chipotle, come home, eat it, and then probably usually take a pregame nap, and then wake up and always play a game of Call of Duty or two. Got to warm up the hands. So that's my way of warming up the hands, and then usually leave around. Let's say we got a 7:05 game. Got to be there for 5, so I usually get there around 4. So usually head out by 3:30.
Awesome. Now, what's your go-to thing at Chipotle there? I mean, I never had it, so I don't. I mean, it's nice to know what your meal is, because maybe if I go there one day, I'm gonna try the Jamie meal.
right.
I don't know what else. I mean,
yeah, no. So I'm I'm a pretty plain Jane when it comes to it. So my go-to is I get a bowl with a tortilla on the side. I do brown rice, chicken, queso, and cheese, and a side of vinaigrette, and then always a large drink, so I can get the Mr. Pibb. Never go wrong there.
that sounds pretty tasty.
Call that one the Buck Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember walking there. Give me the buck pole. What the heck are you talking about, guys?
They'll probably look at you with like you had 3 heads. What are you talking about?
Not the first time I got stared like that before.
We'll flow off this team spirit stuff and all the memorable moments. I know he skipped over the bus trip one, but what's your most memorable non-hockey moment with the team since you've been a part of us?
Most memorable moment with the team off the ice, non-hockey.
Andy's got him there.
Yeah.
That is a tough one. Now I'm like trying to think of everything. I mean, I guess the most memorable, because it was the most crazy, was when we got stuck in Topeka.
Oh,
So
no.
that was
We all heard about that.
It's not necessarily the greatest memory, but it's definitely memorable for sure.
Yeah.
That definitely has to influence a lot of camaraderie, being stuck somewhere, knowing that you should be on your way home. So the chance great.
Yeah, getting stuck there, guys sick, it just definitely memorable, like I said, but definitely not the greatest, but memorable.
That's one thing, being in a different state. Just got done playing a 3-game stretch with Topeka. Everyone's vomiting and God only knows what else. And now I don't just want to get home, man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
ugh. Yeah, I think that. I mean, bus stories. I think after this season, and when we ask that question to any other prowler, bus stories, we don't even have to ask that because it's just
That's
like a
probably the
picnic
one.
trip.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it was a crazy 2 weeks, just to say,
What's it like going back to bingo? I know you started there before you came to us, obviously. What's it like? I mean, does it still feel like home, I guess, a little bit?
Not necessarily. I mean, like, yeah, a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's a hockey game.
Right.
But it's definitely a barn to go into and play. They got a huge fan base behind them and everything. They're loud, they're screaming, they're yelling at us. It's all good and everything. But yeah, it's definitely not an easy place to go into. But definitely going back there and stuff. Brings back some memories and everything. But at the end of the day, I'm with Port Huron, so that's all I care about in the moment. So.
Yeah, I mean, bingo's loud, but I think Section 9 carries their weight in gold.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, we got here we got Section 9 behind us, as well as everybody else, but we got a good group base, good fan base here. So
Any more zingers for Mr. Jamie Bucell? Or I mean, I can see you're chomping at the bit over there.
Oh, I've got a bunch. I'm sitting back enjoying the conversation.
Yeah.
We've had the privilege of a few conversations away from even this. So I know a little bit about this gentleman. He's a good guy.
I want to know one thing about Jamie though, because obviously I'm upstairs, off ice official, and we like to see Jamie kind of skate around and chirp in people's ears. What's your favorite chirp to any team to get them going, to get them to drop the gloves with you? Because it seems like every time you talk to them, they're like, "All right, we're going. That's it. It's going." What's your chirp? Your go-to chirp, I guess.
go to. I mean, I don't know. I say a lot of things that I'm not going to repeat on here, but probably. I don't know. It really depends. Like going up to let's use this past weekend for example. Tomasi and I already fought in Danbury and stuff, and I know he's got a couple fights and stuff under his belt, so I have respect for him. I'd like to believe he has respect for me. So we just chatted about it, and we said, hey, if we'll get something going here at some point. So there's no chirping in that aspect, but I guess when a guy's trying to act like a tough guy and stuff, sometimes it's funny when they don't have a nameplate on their jersey. So I guess the go-to would be like turn around, like I don't even know who you are, or you can't even talk to me if you don't have a nameplate yet. Like that's probably the go-to.
Wheels off. You'll get there one day.
I think the fight that I like the most, I mean, you had a lot of fights in your career, is when you fought Denver Craig. Right?
Yes.
I think that one was the most memorable because it's like I'm sitting right there in Section 24, and I can see you just ask me, "You want to go?" Sure. Gloves drop, and you guys go at it. I think that's the one that I remember is probably one of many I'm going to remember from you.
Yeah, no, that one was a good one. He's a young kid, rookie and everything. Earlier in the game, had a questionable hit on Anderson, in the head, and I didn't like that. Our team didn't like it, so kind of discussed it, and I just said I'll take care of it and everything, and I think went out there for a shift and just told him, hey, like you're gonna have to answer for it and everything, and he actually told me he didn't have his fight strap on at the time, so I told him go to the bench, put it on, and when you're out here again, we'll address it and everything. And came back out there for a draw and asked him if he had it on, and he said yeah. And I just said, let's let's do it. Let's just take care of it right now. And yeah, he's definitely bigger than I thought.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah,
he's a big dude.
He's a bigger
Like,
guy, you know. I think he's listed as 6'2", maybe 6'3", 6'1", somewhere around there. 6 foot something, but you know, he's definitely got some size on me, and you know, skating next to him and everything, and even just going to hit him and stuff. You know, like, you know, it's faster paced. I don't notice really the size difference, but you know, we squared up, and I was like, oh, he's a little bigger than I thought, but
he's like a
this
foot
one,
and a half taller than you. Yeah.
And that was his first goal or first pro fight. I was in the box that night, and I heard him tell you that was his first pro fight. So that's kind of cool. I mean, for me to say, yeah, it's kind of cool. You fought Jamie Bucell in your first pro fight. I mean, you kind of gave
definitely. No, I told him good job and everything for his first pro fight and stuff, and you know, said congrats, you got it all the way and stuff. I just said, you know, it's hey, there's a questionable hit. You know that you gotta learn the deal. You know, you do something like that, and you gotta expect to answer for it. You know, and you know, respect to him, he did. So,
when the man actually answers the ballot.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, like you know, regardless of the situation or what happens, you know, like when someone answers the bell, you know, like I'll have, you know, you gain some of my respect from there. You know.
That's the thing is you earn more respect when that bell rings and you square up to somebody. You earn more respect from your opponent. Hey, this dude squared up to me. He faces his dues. He learned from it. Let's move on. So next time you guys square up. Here we go.
Yep.
That's one thing I can say about Craig. He's definitely got more cojones than a certain gentleman that plays for Indy named Glazer.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say one zinger.
No comments, he says.
No comments.
No comments.
Chirping as I usually do.
So on the fight aspect, I guess I know there are big names out there. Obviously, you know that. I guess who's one that you probably it's hard to say you wouldn't fight because let's face it, James Bucell likes to fight. But who's one that you probably be like, oh man, I'm gonna get my rear kicked on this one, maybe out of the whole league?
I'll be honest, like I don't really have anybody I'll say that about. Like honestly, when it comes to me, like you can look back at some of them, say I won some of my fights, I lost some of them. That's the thing when like about me is like honestly, like I don't really care if I win or lose. You know, if it just comes to the time where I need to step up and you know try to take care of business, you know I will. Obviously, I want to always try to win them. But you know, like you know, some of them we look for energy out of it and everything, and you know that's what I'm willing to do. And I just go in knowing, hey, I might take a few punches, but that's what it is, you know. So I don't really have anybody I'd say like I don't really want to fight them or I'm afraid or anything. You know, it's just I just go in there in the sense like I'm not gonna fear anything. Like I'm gonna get hit. I'm gonna throw hits. I'm gonna get hit. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and if it happens where you judge it and you say I lost it. Who cares?
Not going to affect your play. You're going to still go out there.
No.
Make great passes.
Yeah, but I mean, like obviously, there's some guys out there that you know fight and stuff, and would I necessarily want to fight them? And like, is the trade off really worth it? I don't think so. I don't think our team would think so. So like, that would be the only reason I'd say no to a fight. But you know, if we see the trade off there and stuff, and you know, I get asked if I want to go step up or I say, hey, I'm going to go him or whatever, then, you know, I'll gladly do it. So
I think that's the main thing about fighting is we always heard the consequences always have a constant reaction. I think that's the thing is like, hey, you did something to Anderson. Now you have to own up to it. I think that's what fighting should be about, not just to square up to somebody and kick his teeth in, but it's more like, hey, you hit my guy in the head. Come on, we gotta square this up. Like we gotta.
And obviously, like there's some guys out there that probably love fighting. Like it's what they do. It's what they've grown up doing and everything. But you know, like, yeah, you know, we look to not just go out there and jump guys and stuff. You know, we got a team that pretty much anybody will step up and fight. You know, when it comes to a dirty hit or anything, or, you know, let's say we want to get the building jumping at home on home ice. So let's try to start it off with a bang. You know, that's another reason to get going is, you know, get the boys on the bench excited, you know, get the fans excited. So,
and you did that this past weekend. So yeah, that building got pretty rowdy for Friday and Saturday.
yeah, Friday was more of a Friday was definitely planned in warm-ups. I will say Saturday not so much. It just kind of happened, and yeah.
I mean, I know the score sheet says differently, but I am a firm believer that you guys won Friday and Saturday because you got to have that near force boundary line deleted. So some of them pucks did go in, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, no. Friday, obviously that one stung a little bit, but you know we talked after the game and everything, and regrouped and whatnot, and you know what it came down to is stuff, and is you know giving up some chances that Danbury capitalized on, and you know the Paulie talks about it a lot. You know, like when we get this far in and everything, you know, the margin for error is slim. So
Yeah.
you know, you make a couple errors, team's going to capitalize on it, and then if you don't capitalize on their errors, you know, that's what causes a 1-2 goal game. You know.
And that's where the dagger happens. So
Yeah.
Now, since we're talking all the fights and all that, and scoring and stuff like that, what do you want your legacy to be besides your stats of hockey?
Oh, that's a tough one. Jeez, man.
now I'm gonna let Amy thing on that. I'm just gonna elaborate. We know he has to go back to his teammates and say, "Hey, you guys got to do this." You keep asking hard questions like that, he might go, "You guys don't want to go on there, man." I mean, I got black eyes from them guys.
Right. No. Yeah, honestly, you know, accolades and stats and stuff are nice. I don't really care about that much. Care about them as much for personal success. I'll say, you know, obviously look at my stats over my pro career and everything. Even throughout college and stuff, you know, I haven't been really a point guy since junior hockey. You know, transferred into a, you know, physical energy guy and stuff after juniors and into college and, you know, into my pro career and stuff. So I guess like, you know, what my legacy I would want to leave is, you know, just being, you know, a great teammate, a leader, you know, someone that, you know, impacts the game both on and off the ice. You know, someone that, you know, impacts, you know, all of my teammates on and off the ice, you know, helping them become better hockey players, helping them become better people. So I think that's the legacy like that I would want to leave.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. Is
Knowing you off the ice a little bit and having conversation before, I thought that's where you go with it. And that, in my opinion, it's just my personal opinion that you probably feel the same way. You're doing a hell of a job at it.
I like to think so. So, you know, that's like I said, that's what I want to leave. So that's what I'm trying to do here and everything. And you know, hopefully that's what I'm doing. You know.
now I'm going to ask this question because I watched the Wednesday coaches show down there at Wings, etc. And how much time until you decide to hang up the skates? Because I know that's a tough question. I want to be old as Graham before I can stop skating, or something along the lines. Like, is there you have an afterthought of, hey, I'm done? What's the goal? I mean, I know it's a tough one.
No, honestly, you know, like obviously I have a goal for outside of hockey. I did obviously 5 years of school at Utica up in New York. So I got my bachelor's in criminal justice. I do have my master's degree in cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is my goal after hockey. Now, when it comes to hanging it up, I'll be honest, you know, like after my last stint in Huntsville, I got released there late in the year, pretty much right before playoffs and stuff. And, kind of sat down with myself and, was like, yeah, it's a good run. Like maybe I'm done. So actually at the time I still stayed in Huntsville. I was with an ex-girlfriend at the time. We got an apartment down there, started working full time down there. And then after a bit was like, contemplating it and then, trying to think if it's, if I was really done or not. Like obviously getting released, it's not necessarily how I wanted my career to end. So I was debating it, but in the moment, I wasn't actively searching for a team to go to or anything. I guess I was kind of content with it, if I must say. Like, if that was it, I was okay with it being done. If not, like something will figure it out. And then obviously Binghamton ended up calling that summer. Asked if I was interested in coming back, and like I said, was living with an ex-girlfriend at the time. We had our own apartment, and I asked her, hey, you want to go to New York? And she said yeah. So we ended up canceling our lease and everything and heading up back to New York. And like I said, everything was good in Binghamton and stuff. It just didn't end up working it out. It is what it is. Part of the business. That's a difficult part of the business. Obviously, as a player, getting released and stuff, it sucks. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Whether you agree or not, their coaching staff and everything is trying to make what they think is the best decisions for the team. Whether I agree or not, that's what their job is. Their job is to build championship teams. And obviously Grammer and Polly and them and stuff, they have to do the same things at times. So like I said, got released from there. It is what it is. And then, I was fortunate enough, still there that weekend. Port's in town, and Grammer and them call me and say, hey, like, you have any interest in coming here? And I said, yeah, definitely have any interest. Pretty much going anywhere, just kind of seeing what the options are and stuff. There's only like 2 teams I said like I really wouldn't want to go to, that I won't name, but pretty much like everywhere was open for me. Just kind of see what was all out there. And then Grammer said that they were going to trade up for me with Athens and bring me in, and they called me that Saturday morning, and told me that they got me, and then they asked if I wanted to play. And obviously, like getting released, there's a little sourness I have, so I'm like, yeah, let's do it. But so thought I was done then, and then once I got here last year and stuff, we ended up losing to Binghamton and stuff, and my body was in shambles after the year and stuff. Just kind of thinking, my body's not what it used to be. So I thought last year, I was maybe done. And we were talking about it after and stuff, and then I was like, you know what, we'll give it one more for sure. So ended up talking with Grammer and Johnny and them, and ended up staying up here in Port Huron this summer. And enjoyed it up here in the summer and stuff. Never thought I'd be a fan of Michigan, being an Ohio State fan, but no, it was good. So obviously, decided to come back, here today, and this year and stuff. So we'll see how the body is at the end of the year, and go from there,
I think that's the big thing, keeping the body healthy and also keeping the mind healthy.
Yeah.
While you go through this, 56 game schedule plus playoffs. So it's a lot. I can see what you guys go through on the ice for 60 minutes, and oof.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, like what's after, or, when am I going to hang it up? Honestly, I said this is my last year. But to start the year at the beginning, I said this is my last year, but so far I'm over 2 in saying that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I hear a lot, and it's just one of the questions I thought to myself. It's like, just see what happens. But it's basically, long story short, it's what your body, your body, and you know what your body wants. And if your body says, I'm done, dude, you got to listen to your body.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like when it comes down to it and stuff, a job's always going to be there after. It's what it comes down to is, my body and my mind and stuff, if it can still endure it. My parents are very supportive still. Obviously, my dad tells me all the time, man, like do it till you can't. It's not hockey's not always going to be there. Like the professional level and stuff isn't always going to be there. Yeah, you'll be able to skate and play beer league and stuff, but the competitiveness that you get in pro and minor pro and everything, like it's not always going to be there. So ride it out as long as you can.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what I want to do, because obviously I want to give hockey like everything I have. Where I leave no regrets and stuff. I got a couple buddies and stuff that I played probably college with, but high school for sure, that they were set to go to college and then didn't end up going to college and stuff. So that kind of wrapped up their career and stuff. And, they'll message me every now and then, like, dude, keep going, man. Love that you're still doing it. Like, you can tell they definitely have some regret there when they stopped, but that's definitely what I don't want, is any regrets.
Yeah, leave
it all out on the ice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All bets are off, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you, Justin, you look nice and comfy over there.
Yeah, sorry, she let the dogs in, and you don't want to hear every episode, Jamie. We have a dog that barks in my house, so yeah. But
it's bad. It's like doing dishes, bowls, frying, everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we covered a lot. I mean, Andy had some tough questions. I guess I could lean towards. I know he's an Ohio State fan, so I might know where this one's going here. But I guess if you had the option, let's just say you had the option to go to any NHL team and play, who would it be?
Any NHL team?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Actually, I have two questions. That's one of them there.
Honestly, I'd probably say LA. I've always been an LA fan ever since I was a kid growing up. So gotta stick with the favorite team there and go LA.
I thought he was gonna go with Columbus, but
no, Columbus is a close second, but LA's, for whatever reason, I still don't even know how I got into becoming a big LA fan, but from ever since I can remember, I always have been. So
now, if you could change your position today, what position would you play besides what you're playing now?
Oh boy.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. It's kind of different, honestly, I played every position throughout my career. Believe it or not, I played goalie once.
What?
Yep, I did. I did play goalie. I think it was in like squirts or something. I don't know. Something happened, and our goalie, I forget what happened, but he didn't want to play or something. So I was like, I'll do it. Like, I played goalie in street hockey. It can't be that different. Right?
Oh boy.
I don't actually think I did too bad. But yeah, I remember making one like Red Eagle glove save, which was like I was juiced for. Obviously, I'm like, ew, I'm nasty. I should just play goalie. Like, I should switch. But if I could switch it,
back up to the backup.
Yeah, if I could switch to a position now and play for a couple years, maybe I'd switch to goalie just so I can get it on my elite prospects. So it could be like /D/G. I think that'd be unreal.
That would
yeah.
I don't think anybody has that yet. I don't, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, I don't think that's anybody has that. So that might be a first on the elite prospects.
When the back two beat up, being between the pipes.
A question comes down, and they want to know who's the toughest goalie to score on in this league.
Oh man, who's the toughest goalie? Trying to think.
That's not including Cooper.
I was gonna say Coop. I mean, I'd say like, all the goalies in the league and stuff are pretty solid. It just depends on getting them out of position and stuff like that. And then depends on how the night's going for them. some games you'll find it easy to light up a goalie, and then the next day he's making incredible saves and stopping everything. So I think it just depends. I think all of them are pretty similar and stuff. As it stands as a whole, I mean, I'd maybe say McNamara or Kamaj from Binghamton, obviously. Two solid goaltenders, and then they got a solid team behind them as well, so that definitely helps.
The biggest thing I noticed with goalies is you got to get them out of position to score, and they have their own tendencies.
Yeah.
So my wife asked, she's in the other room, taming the dogs. She said, ask him, what's his guilty pleasure snack junk food?
Oh. Anything sweet. Anything sweet. I mean, I can go into the kitchen right now and I have a whole bag of goodies from Dots when we did a commercial shoot there. So that's got chocolate bark in there and everything. Definitely probably have to say like cookies or brownies though, for sure.
That sounds really good, cookies and brownies.
Yeah, I have cookies in the living room, but
honestly, I'd probably say brownies. They're one of the easiest things to make and in college and stuff. And I mean, not so much now anymore, or I just haven't as of lately, but I'll just find myself like, I need something sweet. You know what? I'm going to go make a box of brownies. Why not? And then I'll probably delete like half the pan or 3/4 of it as soon as they're done. But
the fresh brownies out the oven, the best way to go.
Oh yeah. Always a glass of milk though too. Always a glass of milk with it. Have to have it.
So who's your roommates?
Anderson and his girlfriend Bailey.
How is it living with Anderson?
It's good. Anderson's Anderson. No, honestly, he's a great guy. Bailey's great too and stuff. Bailey's here and stuff. We tell her all the time she doesn't have to do as much as she does around the house or around the apartment and everything, but it seems like she might not mind and stuff. So she's always cleaning and stuff. When we're at the rink and everything, which is nice. No complaints there. Obviously being a guy and stuff. I come in here and you can look at my walls. They're all plain and stuff. So they came in and. Obviously they weren't here right at the beginning of the year, so they came in and Bailey makes the comment of this is definitely a guy's place and stuff, but I go out into the living room now, there's decorations up and everything. We got fake flowers in a vase on the kitchen island.
The real question is live, laugh, love on the wall anywhere in that apartment now?
I don't think so, actually.
At least not yet.
No, we definitely have there's some decorations, on the wall above the back of the toilet, There's definitely you walk in here and you're like, yeah, the girl definitely lives here.
Yeah. Every guy needs a woman's touch to dial in the apartment a little bit.
Yeah. But no, I will say no, she did great decorating and everything. So no, it's all nice, no complaints here. So very grateful to have them as roommates. That's just, all I could really ask for, when it comes to living and stuff. Like, I don't need much. I just want to have solid roommates and stuff, where there's no issues and everything. But, they're great.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions. To be honest with you, Justin has one more. Well, Justin, you better make this a good one, buddy.
So we always ask. So we had Gino Mini on, and I have to ask every player this: locker room pranks. Are you a prankster or do you get pranked on?
No, honestly, we don't really have too much of that going on. Most of the time, we have all the guys in the locker room at once. We're all just, chatting, communicating, just make cracking jokes with everybody and stuff. So I guess when it comes to pranking, that would be the biggest thing is just, joking around with people or, giving people a hard time. But when it comes to like physical pranks and stuff, you have guys like taping up guys' equipment and stuff and doing like crazy stuff, like duct taping it to the ceiling or something. Like, yeah, we don't really have that going on. more of our pranks are just jokes and stuff. Every now and then, you'll have like Bobby or someone like hide Ando's sticks or something like that, and Ando's running around the room freaking out. But he goes right to Bobby and he's like, "Where are my sticks?" Or goes to Favs or whoever does it, But yeah, most
Got
of
any
the
more
pranks are just
questions
jokes.
Got any questions? Any more questions for him, Andy?
No, I think that'll wrap me up on questions.
I think so
me
too.
too.
Well, Jamie, I gotta say from us three guys, I thank you for coming on to this podcast to talk to us. And when this airs, please pass it along to your teammates.
Especially
I know
maybe
there's
your
couples
roommate.
in your questions, but we're just three dudes talking hockey. Well,
Yeah, of
four
course.
guys.
Of
Like,
course.
Getting the insight on our players, some of our favorites. All you guys are our favorites. We had this question asked not long ago. Who's your favorite prowler? I said, every one of them. They're all too good of guys.
It's too hard to pick one anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely.
They all got their own uniqueness behind them, but they're all great guys. From everybody, from the Paulie to Cooper and everyone in between. You guys are all great.
Even to Bridget. Don't
We
forget Bridget.
appreciate that. We appreciate that. But no, yeah, thanks for having me. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. I honestly hate doing interview type stuff like this. I just black out half the time and I'm like, I don't even know what I said. I'm like, hopefully I didn't just ramble on. Hopefully everything makes sense.
No, it did. It did.
Very good, Jamie. Don't doubt yourself on that one. Smooth talker and a great player.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
like
with this, it's kind of like just be you.
Yeah.
We're all silly enough. It's just, It's just be you, talk hockey, and we might throw you some zingers or some cheap ones from the cheap seats. Andy.
That's all right.
But I do
gotta be prepared, right?
Amy. I will let you get enjoying your wonderful Sunday evening. I will see you
Saturday.
All righty, sounds good. Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
See you, Jamie.
Bye.
All right, later, y'all.